No.
All right, looks like we're back online here. So welcome to another Thursday safety brief. I'm Senior Master Sergeant Vesper. I am the Operations Superintendent here in the 316th.
And I'm Dennis Hoffman, one of your NTLs.
One of the awesome ones, right?
Yeah, don't know.
Okay, well, all right. Well, we'll start there and I guess see how we keep going. This week has been short but busy. Right, but as usual, right, you guys are crushing it. Right, not a whole lot coming up to us for a lot of issues, but some of the things we want to discuss real quick. I'll turn over to Sergeant Offerman. He wants to talk about tomorrow's activities.
Yes, so tomorrow, I'm sure if you have not heard, we're having a 316th training day. Starting off in the morning for everybody, we'll be doing PT at 0600. So make sure you know where you're going. If you have not been briefed yet by your instructors or your flights, please talk to them. Contact your instructors via Slack, talk in Discord, talk to your other classmates. Make sure you know where you're going. And then from there, you can definitely get some more guidance into how the rest of the day is going to go.
So for that 0600, it's PT uniform.
Yes.
Right? So we're not running around in a bunch of craziness. So PT uniform, we're going to be at 3 different locations for PT. So as you mentioned, for some of our airmen out at ASU, we're going to be doing PT out there with DOB flight instructors. And then I believe myself and Chief are going to be out at ASU in the morning. And then we have the track and the flight line.
Yes. I know DOA and DOC, so all the casuals and all the 1 and 2s and 1 out the 8X2s, they will be at the flight line. And I'm assuming that leaves DOD at the track.
That leaves DOD out at the track. And so expect, right? So I haven't quite talked to the DO and the commander to see how we're splitting this up in the shirts, but anticipate, right, to see them out there. We are kind of splitting our time and our locations so that we can get out and see you guys and see what's going on and, right, get out in PT with you. So we're looking forward to it.
Definitely looking forward to it. And just again to reemphasize, for PT, it'll be PT gear. Then once you change and shower, it'll be in OCPs for the remainder of the day. So at 9 o'clock, we were supposed to be at, if I can get my paper right. So linguists and DOC, they'll be at the base theater. And then DOA, so all the casuals and DOD will be in the classrooms for professional development. That'll be in OCPs for the remainder of the day. So make sure you're in the correct uniform in the correct location at the correct time.
That's always the start to things, right?
Yes.
The correct uniform, correct location, correct time. I like it. That's the start to get any successful in anything you're doing. After that, right, we have activities planned throughout the day to keep everybody rotating and doing things. Some of the things you're going to learn about and discuss tomorrow, some of them are required training functions for different things. And then some of it are things that we're trying to get after as a service, right? So one of the discussions that's going to be held is regarding great power competition, right? And looking at how one of our peer adversaries is kind of operating, what's going on. So that's an awesome brief and an awesome discussion to have, and it's something, right, we all need to get a little smarter on, because as service members, right, and especially intelligence professionals, that's what we're here to do, and provide that kind of insight into those things. So gaining a better understanding of those is only going to make you a better analyst and a better airman as we continue. And then we're also going to get, right, that development time to where it offers you all the opportunity to ask questions. Now, what I'm going to say with that is, as we go through these different development opportunities, whether it's with the instructors or with the command team, right, the senior enlisted leaders, so Chief and I will be holding a couple of these development times with the students and the staff. And so as we go through and do these, please realize, right, I think a lot of this is going to be kind of talking with you guys, guided discussion, question and answer. As those are occurring, right, those questions, hopefully, right, put some thought into them tonight and kind of really think about what do you need to become a better airman? What do you feel, right, didn't meet the mark with what you've received thus far, or you need clarification on, or something like that? we're not going to be looking to answer those one-off, what about me type questions, right? We're happy to, right, we take those questions kind of here in the safety brief of, right, who needs orders, who needs this or that. That's not what the development time is going to be about tomorrow, right? So please think about your questions. Think about how we can help make you better airmen. And right, so that way when you're talking with your instructors, your NCOs, your senior NCOs, right, that's going to really kind of hone in on that time and make it beneficial to everybody involved. We have a few talking points that we'll work through, but I believe a lot of it's going to be question and answer. So it's based on you guys and where that conversation goes and what y'all need.
Yes, sir.
So once again, I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a blast.
I know all the MTLs are looking forward to it. Myself, Sergeant Harp, Sergeant Medina. We have great topics cut already. I'm ready to talk to the airmen.
Good deal. Nothing that we don't do every day. This just really sets aside that time for us to really focus on it and have those discussions. What else you got, sir?
Last thing I have for this week from just me is talking about computer accounts. So we've seen a huge influx of airmen, their accounts not working, like not logging the computer, not checking their email, stuff like that. So pretty much one of the main things is don't go to MPF directly. Always come talk to the MTL first. If your instructor says, hey, go to MPF, please come talk to the MTLs, because MPF, they're going to turn you around to what's called the CSL, which is the Computer's Cybersecurity Liaison, and that's the MTLs. Let us help you first, because if you haven't talked to us, MPF's not going to help you. Even if it's something simple, we can probably do it. If we can't do it, we'll get you to the right location. So please give us time to work that. In addition, after about 30 days of not logging in the computer, you're going to be locked out for inactivity. So please log into the Air Force Network, which is like the LBR, the MTL hallway computers, some computers within the SCIF itself. Like I said, do not work for that, or like the library, JLRC, and there's a few other places that are not considered NIPRNet. You have to log on to those. Just checking your email via like personal computers and webmail, that will not activate your account. You will lose activity. So again, please log on. Our goal, we're gonna put a reminder in the DAN every 2 weeks at least. Log into the Air Force Network. You should be checking your email daily, but at least the Air Force Network every 2 weeks. Log in. Specifically, log in about a week or so before like any huge training like DCGS or starting class, just so we can make sure your computer accounts work. Because you have a lot of computer work you have to do, a lot of CBTs, and you need all that information to do class appropriately.
Correct. And so we've run into this issue, recently, as everybody's kind of been coming back together and doing things. So with DCGS 100, it's been brought to our attention, right, that our airmen are kind of having difficulty with their accounts when they first show up. So we need to kind of focus on that, right? It has ripple effects because then you're not getting the training you need. They're having to, right, potentially put in training deficiencies out to the field for things that you did not accomplish while you were there. And it may keep you here longer, ultimately, if you can't meet your training objectives. So let's make sure we're doing what we need to do to make sure we're prepared for the courses we need and all of that. So knock out your stuff. I would say probably, right, starting off from mention about a week out. I'd probably say 2 weeks out because some of those fixes take about a week. Once those tickets get put in, as everybody starts working these tickets to see about your certificates or your account or doing things, it can take about a week just to try to get them fixed, not even to ensure that you have access to everything you need and everything else is working. So if we have something like this week where it's a short week and COM has a training day or FSS has a training day, all that does is push you further back. So I think that 2 week window is the right answer. Let's make sure we're staying on top of that and make sure we're taking care of what we need to.
Definitely. If you don't tell us if it's something wrong, then we can't fix it. There's not a magical system that says, hey, Amherst Sniper's account is broken. Unless you tell us, we don't know. I know on the weekly update roster, we check with that too. So that's one way for you to tell us. So make sure you're filling that out too properly if you are having troubles. I will look and see what I can find. If I can't find anything, then please come and see us. I may reach out to you, I may not. Just make sure that if it still doesn't work after that, say Wednesday or so, come talk to us, and we'll see what we can do.
Definitely. All right, so it's been a whole lot of information real quick, right? Talking about the training day coming up, and talking about your accounts. Let's open it up to you guys to see what kind of questions you have and see what's on your mind this week and see what we can help you with. So we'll wait a minute and see what starts coming in. All right. Milk Connect has been down for a couple of weeks. Any update on how we can complete our SGLI? I tried multiple times on my own laptop and computers at the OBR.
So with Milk Connect, I heard that it was down. I thought it was down too, but I actually switched internet browsers. I think I used Chrome, and somehow it worked. If it still doesn't continue to work, come see us in the MTL office, and I will try my best to get it to work for you. I know I've accessed it this past week, I want to say. So yeah, definitely we can get it working.
Yeah, they do that. So for some reason, some of our different programs work differently in different browsers. So if for some reason you're struggling, right, make sure you're logging into Internet Explorer and then hop over to Chrome. You can use Firefox. You can use Edge, right? That each one does it a little differently for whatever reason at the same website. So please, right, go through all those. I understand it's kind of like that. Always consistent of, well, you just need to restart your computer and that's going to fix it. It seems silly to use just a different browser, but it does work sometimes. Yeah. So give that a try, and if not, go see that CSL and let's see if we can get something fixed. Do DLI students who just got in this week need to attend PT tomorrow? Yes, they do. So this is for everyone, and we want to make sure, right, everybody's out doing it. This isn't an issue for an appraisal or a PT test, so it's not an acclimation type function. So yeah, everybody's going to be out there doing their PT time. If you think you have a reason that you can't make it out there, or you have other conflicting appointments with something, work that with the MTLs and the GLMs, and we'll work that on a case-by-case basis. What's next? Can you be held here if you're overdue on immunizations? Depending on what your assignment is, yes, you can. And where you're supposed to be going. So yes, if you are overdue on immunizations, you can be held here. It really depends on what that is and where you're going. If you're going to an overseas site, yes, they will hold you here because you may not meet the immunization requirements to actually enter that country. So I would have to see kind of what the one-off things are on that. But yes, it can. For on-base DOB airmen, those who haven't moved to ASU yet, to report to the track for PT tomorrow morning. Yes. Go to the track tomorrow morning for those that are here in 3139 for DOB. Good catch on that one. We probably could have clarified that a little more. So I apologize for that, and that's a good catch for next time that we do these things. We haven't been able to get on computers at all. We tried to get it fixed, never received a straight answer. I know there's a section on the weekly update roster.
Yes. So I've been trying to. I've been on leave for the past 3 weeks, so I've been trying to catch up on a lot of work. Part of that is make sure all the accounts are good. I've been going back and double checking all the work that's been done. I got back to 2 weeks ago. I still have this past week and a half to verify. So I'm gonna do that when I go back to the office today, and hopefully tomorrow or over the weekend, you should be good.
All right. Next one is trash cans. Can we get them emptied at the gazebo by the snack building and 519 building more often? They begin to smell like rot because they're only empty once a week. Okay. So is this the gazebo snack? So this is the one back by 521, correct? All right. So let me have a chat with our flight back there, right? So most of that is going to be DOB running around 521 back there. And I mean, if you see it and you need it, and you see it can be taken out, right? There are dumpsters just around, and if we need to get bags, we can do that. So more than likely, what I'm going to end up doing is we're going to work with the flight to ensure that the courses then are tasked with it once a week to go out and check it twice a week to go out and take the trash out, and we'll make sure that it's getting updated more frequently. Thank you for the update on that one. I don't always get out that way very often to the gazebo. So we'll take care of that though. All right. 1-2 Charlie has been assigned Nebraska as our first base. Is this a viable location, seeing that after tech school will only be a level 3? Nebraska requires 5 and 7. Yes, it is a viable location. So as you progress up, you will make it. Also, the skill level can be up and down. It's dependent on if they've accepted you. So if you've received assignments there, that means that it was already worked and you're receiving the assignment to go. So yes, that absolutely is a viable base of assignment for 1 and 2 Charlies, and you're gonna go off and do amazing things over in Offutt. So that's good. Be happy you have an assignment. That's usually the one that we're having to work. So no assignment. See, I knew it. Let's see. No assignment. Name on the update roster for a couple of weeks and still haven't heard anything. Who should I talk to? Morgan Thompson, how far out are you from your graduation? This goes for other people in the class as well.
And this could be a Space Force thing too. Because I know she is Space Force.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a whole other deal.
Yeah. I don't know, from the MTL side, we will try to track down, see. I thought we'd start Medina, I thought we'd start in Granger, and see what we can do.
So once again, I'll hit on it early, even though Chief usually hits this every time, right? But if you're 30 days out from your graduation, make sure you're going to the MTLs if you don't have your assignment. If you don't have orders 2 weeks out, you need to let the MTLs know, let your instructors know, start pushing that up and forward. And if you're a week out, they will then elevate that to myself and to Chief, and we will work that. But if you are the only one out of your class, or there's 1 or 2 of you out of your entire class that are different in those things, and you don't have what your other friends have, make sure to bring those up to the MTL so they're tracking. So we will continue to work that.
For the ASU Airmen, what I'll say is go to PT with the ASU group, DOB at ASU, and then once you get to base, come to the casuals with a DOA. So you come to 3139 and then go to one of those developments with the MTLs.
Perfect. And a couple of the skiff casuals will have to be there for the door anyway.
Okay.
Right, we'll have to. All right, where are we now? Does this login in through VMware account for login? No, it does not. It has to be on a physical computer for the .mil network. So logging in to your virtual machines, VMware, your different things, it doesn't count as keeping your Nipper account open. It will keep your webmail unlocked, but it won't keep your Nipper account open. So you actually have to go into a physical machine and do it. I wish there was a better way to do it, but it's not. And that's out of our hands. That's a comm piece, and it's a cybersecurity requirement for doing that.
We were trying to 3139 to get a lot more computers to work, to continue to work better. I know today we had a slight comm issue with our ATAP office, and he put in a ticket. And they did some little extra work on our network switch, and they fixed a few of our issues too as well that we didn't know were issues. So hopefully some of those computers are still working, or working better now. The whole right side, as far as I'm aware, still do not work as you walk into the LBR. So don't use those pretty much because you can't log in. The left side are the ones that work.
How does you take the orders amended for report not later than date? Graduate 12 October, orders say report 4 Feb 22, fill out report for change about a week or 2 ago. So it varies each time, but we will track that one. So we have your name, Blake, and we'll run it down and see where your paperwork's at and see what we can do. Can I still do out processing at TMO if I'm waiting for amendments? If you don't have orders, TMO is not really going to deal with you on that. So if you're waiting on amendments, you can still go out process TMO, and you can kind of set those up. So it says amendments. So yeah, if you're waiting on amendments, you can still out process TMO based off of your orders because it's still the same funding site. And then you can work with TMO and work with the shipping company to actually set up your dates and do what you need to do. Especially since you're only changing your report date by a week. So yes, you don't have to have your amendment to do it. You can take it up there after you get your amendment. Hard brush is nice. How many people can we sponsor on base at once? Honestly, I don't know off the top of my head. Tori, on how many you can sponsor at once. I'll have to check and see.
I know some contacts over the visitor center and insecurity forces. I follow up tomorrow and ask them and push it on Discord.
All right, so we'll get you an answer on that one as soon as we can. Let's see. When do we get access to our work emails? I haven't been told how to log into it. Well, I doubt your name is Too Slow, and I'd have to go back up and see who that is. So if you pass us your name, Too Slow, we'll get you over here with the MTLs to kind of look at your account and make sure it's set up appropriately, and we can get somebody to help you figure out how to log into it. That's an easy one.
And we can show you how to log into it also.
See, the CSLs and MTLs, since they're the same individuals, have you covered. So put your name back in there, Too Slow, and we'll get you. All right. What are the policies with family members coming on base if they aren't vaccinated? Okay. So with that, you can bring your family members still on base. They're just going to have to be in a mask the whole time. So as they're on base, they have to be in a mask, and that's so that the LMO, the limited movement order and mask wear mandate that the wing currently has in place as of today is very very clear in its definitions of vaccinations, unvaccinated personnel, and that's on the installation and off for us. But on the installation, anyone who is not vaccinated needs to be wearing their mask, and especially because as they approach others and things that are occurring here, we're not all in the same household. So they're your family, that's awesome. If they're in your household, great. If they're visiting here with you, then y'all don't live together currently, which means y'all would have to be masked up as you're walking around together. So hopefully that clears things up with that one. Does logging into virtual MPF keep our accounts from being logged out? No, it does not. So once again, it's your unclassified NIPPER accounts are based off of logging into a .mil network, not into the Air Force software. So the portal doesn't, those things are different than actually logging into the .mil network, which is why we say you have to log into a physical machine in order to keep your account active. Once again, I wish we could make it better. Lucas, so it's 5 people with a valid ID. Okay. We'll still verify that information, but thanks. That wasn't something I was really tracking with that one. And Aaron Basic Aerosmith, we'll get you your response on that one.
Yeah. So I know what his issue is because we do their in processing. We show them how to work
how to log in.
Yeah, but we missed it Monday.
Okay.
So we missed the briefing.
Perfect. So, that seems like a valid response on that one. So you just need to get back with the MTLs, and they're going to work with you guys. When we have these holiday weekends and things shift, we have to adjust accordingly. So we'll get you there. All right. Ruben, within a month of graduation and not received orders, anything I can do to expedite the process? Talk to the MTLs, make sure they have all your information, make sure you've done everything that you need to do to get them, right? So since you say you haven't received your orders, that tells me you have an assignment, or you should, based on that statement. And then, as long as you've completed all of your requirements, then the orders will flow shortly thereafter. But depending on where you're going and what that's for, your requirements may be different. So make sure you're taking care of everything you can. All right. I know that we are past our time, and now I'm cutting into the commander's time, and we have some really cool things going on today. So we have some recognition and some introductions, and then we have some more discussions with the commander. So everybody stand by, and we'll continue the safety brief in a second.
Introduce yourself. So, good afternoon. I'm going to go first before the commander. Staff Sergeant Avilés. I'm an Arabic COA instructor here at Goodfellow Air Force Base for the 316th Training Squadron. I'm just going to quickly talk to you guys about two things, okay? First is going to be signature blocks on emails, which is kind of connected to what was just mentioned about accessing your email on base, right? And the next thing I'm going to talk about is professionalism, okay? So our guidance for signature blocks on emails comes from the Air Force Handbook 33-337 or the Tongue and Quill, okay? So the purpose and the essential reason why this exists is to provide guidance to ensure clear, concise, specific, and professional communication, written or verbal, okay? So signature blocks on an email. It's pretty simple, not gonna waste a lot of time. There's 4 lines that go on a standardized Air Force signature block. First line is gonna have your name, rank, and service affiliation. So for me, that would be Aaron J. Avilés, Staff Sergeant, USAF, United States Air Force. On the second line, it's gonna be your duty title. So like I mentioned, I'm an Arabic CLA instructor, so that would be my duty title. On the third line, it's going to be your organization name, what unit you belong to, the 316th Training Squadron. Some people will typically add in their flight that they're attached to after that as well. And then the fourth and final line is going to have your contact information. It's going to have things like your phone number, your work cell phone number if you carry one, and maybe other forms of contact that someone can reach you at, okay? So why is a signature block standardized? Well, it's a work email, right? So it needs to be professional and it represents not just you, but how the Air Force conducts business, right? And it also maintains a uniformed and professional process across the Air Force. So no matter who you're contacting, if they're at another unit or if you're PCSing and you're moving to another unit yourself, the signature block is always going to be the same. And that's important because you don't want a lot of superfluous information on a signature block. Someone needs to look at it and understand immediately what kind of information they're going to find, okay? You're not going to have things like slogans. You're not going to have quotes. You're not going to have any kind of personalization on a work email signature block or with any kind of work correspondence at all. Okay, so again, it eases readability. So we all know what we're looking at when we look at a signature block or what we expect to find when we look at someone's signature block, okay? And so it helps us contact people a lot easier if we need to. Now, we're going to go on to professionalism. And what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to sit here and talk at you about what I believe professionalism is. Because what professionalism may mean to a career senior master sergeant, a 10-year staff sergeant, or an A1C who's only been in the Air Force for 10 months, that word is going to mean different things. So what I want to do instead is I'm going to provide a framework to help you guys kind of start thinking about what professionalism, specifically in the Air Force, means to you in a personal way, and how you can start to try to embody those characters and those qualities, okay? Give me a second. So we need to first ask, what is professionalism? The definition for professionalism is simple. It's the conduct, aims, or qualities that characterize a professional or profession. So then you ask the next question, well, what is a professional? A professional is simple. A professional is a member of a profession. Follow that logic. The next question is, well, what is our profession? Okay, and I know you guys are smart, right? So you already have the answer. We're military members. That is our profession, so we are military professionals. Go full circle. Now you need to ask yourself, what conduct, aims, or qualities characterize a military professional? Words might start popping up in your head, like disciplined, trustworthy, capable, tenacious, resilient, or decorum, etiquette, military bearing, etc. Okay, and what I want you guys to start doing as you're starting to think about these ideas and these concepts of what a military professional is you need to ask yourself, and I would encourage you guys to actively engage in this kind of activity throughout your career, no matter how short or long it is do I embody these qualities within myself? And if I don't, how can I start to? And if I do, how can I strengthen and improve on these qualities? How can I add more qualities to, I guess you could say, the definition of who I am as a military professional? And most importantly, ask how you can help others around you achieve those same qualities and characterizations. To kind of get the juices going and to like help you guys think about what I'm talking about, I could talk on and on about what I think professionalism is, especially as a military professional. But to keep it short and sweet, to me, and this is kind of a country bumpkin answer, but to me, professionalism is just etiquette, manners, decorum, like I mentioned earlier. I always go back to when I was being raised by my mom, it was always, yes, sir, yes, ma'am, do what you're told when you're told to do it. If you don't do it right the first time, guess what? You're going to do it again. And understanding the social environment you're in and how you interact. So you might want to start thinking about how decorum in a military professional environment, what that might mean. You're going to behave differently with superiors. You're going to behave differently with your peers and with junior members as you guys progress through your careers. So always keep that in mind. At least for me, that's very important. That's a part of who I am. And so I try to embody that as much as possible. And that isn't to say it's going to be easy. That isn't to say you're not going to mess up, but you should strive to reach these qualities throughout your careers. So, and also, I kind of want to just touch to what Senior Master Sergeant Esper said. We're not just military professionals, we're intelligence professionals, right? So then on that same idea, start to ask yourself, well, what is an intelligence professional? What qualities should they exhibit? What kind of characterization should they have? This is all very important, and it will help you start to understand kind of where you should start building yourself, not just as an airman, but as a person as you move on through life, okay? And the reason why this is important to me and why I'm talking to you guys about it is because I am very proud of being in the Air Force. I am proud of my profession. And when you guys became Air Force members, whether you knew it or not, you were agreeing to take on qualities, conduct that define a military professional into yourself. So I encourage you, always be proud and ask questions and grow. This is the time to do it. And that's all I got. Thank you.
Hey guys.
Attention orders. This is to certify that the President of the United States of America, as authorized by Executive Order 16 Jan 1969, has awarded the Meritorious Service Medal to Technical Sergeant Sean A. Worthington for meritorious service 1 August 2018 to 31 August 2021. Technical Sergeant Sean A. Worthington distinguished himself in the performance of outstanding service to the United States as a non-commissioned officer in charge, military training leaders, 316th Training Squadron, 17th Training Group, 17th Training Wing, Goodfellow Air Force Base, Texas. During this period, Sergeant Worthington oversaw the health and well-being of more than 3,500 airmen in technical training, reducing the squadron's transient population from 750 to 400 personnel and delivering 120 students to their operational duty stations during the first 4 months of the global pandemic. Specifically, he managed the housing transfer of more than 100 airmen to a local university, executing the Department of Defense's first ever intergovernmental support agreement with student dormitories and saving $800,000 over a 5-year period. Additionally, Sergeant Worthington filled in for 2 first sergeants during a month-long absence of both senior non-commissioned officers, advising the commander through 4 legal actions, 3 emergency leave requests. Furthermore, he engaged with a suicidal airman who had ingested a bottle of pills, quickly contacting and facilitating medical transport for the airman, ultimately saving his life. Finally, Sergeant Worthington was named the Wing's Junior Military Training Leader of the Quarter and was integral to the squadron, earning the Air Education and Training Command's Technical Training Unit of the Year award in 2020. the singularly distinctive accomplishments of Sergeant Worthington reflect great credit upon himself and the United States Air Force.
Amen. This is a big deal. I want to talk about this.
Stand here for 1 second before we talk. So, where do I start with this? I know, big applause. This is one of our rock star MTLs, right? So I'll always talk about when our guests come here that we are a training base. We're an intelligence and fire professional training base. But if you peel that back, we can't get that started without military training leaders. So our non-intel people will help get these airmen started, help get you guys into your rooms, help with your daily process, and help get you in and help get you out. We couldn't do this mission without them. So what you just heard there was a meritorious service award, right? MSM. So it is very uncommon for non-officers and non-senior NCOs to earn that award. Usually a PCS, usually about a commendation level is what we're looking at. But occasionally there are junior airmen and junior officers who display such a level of expertise and leadership that comes time to recognize them, right? So we had to do an exception to policy that went all the way up to the colonels, and they agreed with us that your performance in this time period has been exceptional. So we talked about what you did for ASU in the award, that helping stand it up and getting you guys over there. We didn't mention a lot about COVID, but I know you were here during the COVID period and the snow apocalypse and all those other things where you were basically a rock star helping take care of our airmen. But then for me, being here just a few months, I can tell you, as the first sergeant was out, the amount of personnel actions, good and bad, that we had in our first 3 months, it's just been, it has been more than I expected. To have a professional here who is not the first sergeant and not a senior NCO, but to jump into the role and just take it and make sure that I stayed straight has been invaluable. So, Sergeant Worthington, we're really going to miss you. We know that you're going to do great things out there in Idaho when you get to Mountain Home, and we really, really hope that we run into you again. Thanks for embodying what we need out of MTLs and showing our intel professionals that it's not all about intel. It's a big Air Force. Everybody can contribute, and you've done more than your part. Appreciate you. Yeah. You
Unless
get
you
the
want to
key.
say anything
You get
to
the
them?
key. Yeah. So yeah, if you would like to say something, this is the time.
Since this is the last safety brief I'll get to be at, and probably one of my last days in the squadron, I want to thank all the airmen that I've gotten to work with. There's been so many, thousands of airmen in a few years, and to see what you all can do and what you're so capable of, it's amazing. It's amazing to think about what you'll do in the future. I'll leave you with one piece. The only person that can limit your success is yourself. It took me a long time to realize that. I grew up, there was a lot of people that were telling me that I couldn't do something, that I couldn't become something, and I bought into that for a long time. So much so, I didn't graduate high school. I was not doing anything special with my life. I wasn't doing anything significant for quite a few years. And then one day I stopped listening to those people. I started doing things because I knew I could do better. I had the ability. I just had to find that drive, and I had to shut those people out. Sometimes that's what it takes. You will find yourself at some place, somebody saying that something isn't possible. Don't listen to them. You guys are more than capable. If you weren't, you wouldn't be here. That's all I've got.
Thank you. Good travels, brother. Here we go. You again.
I'm back. I can't get enough of this.
Good afternoon. It's Lieutenant Colonel E.J. Mason. You're at the 316 Squadron Commander for about 90 days now.
90 days already, sir.
90 days. Went that fast.
Wow.
And my operations superintendent,
Yeah,
Master Sergeant Eric Vesper, again.
Again, right? So I get to come back and chat with you guys some more.
So I'm going to keep this short because I know we have training day tomorrow, all right? So some of these topics we'll cover in detail. If you did not know, everyone should know by now, and I heard a couple questions about where we're at for PT tomorrow and that stuff, right? So it is my intention to do quarterly training days to cover topics that the squadron is delinquent on, right? So our high areas, high attention areas, also to get just the some feedback and get some face-to-face. We're so big, we can't do it all in one place and all at one time. So the exec and the front office and the leadership team has come up with a process for us to be able to see most people. Some of you will have training and some of you will have other events and appointments where you won't get to see us. But as we rotate around every quarter, we look forward to seeing you. We will be brief, to the point, hit the topics we need to, and go from there. So the two things that I want to talk to you about additional to training day are suicide prevention and awareness. September is Suicide Prevention Month, National Suicide Prevention Month. Okay, one of the base led briefings that we'll have tomorrow covers that topic. So a lot of you have family members, have friends who have been impacted by suicide. I know, and we understand that. The Air Force, as the other services, take this very seriously, and so much so that there are multiple programs and multiple processes for you to ask for help. So if you need help, if you don't have my cell phone number, it is 405-639-8354. 405-639-8354. You are welcome to go to me, to the chief, to the shirt, to the DO, to the MTLs, to your wingman, to the ops suit, and call us anytime, 24/7. And I think this goes for pretty much any of the other people in the squadron. Your instructors, your global language mentors, or anyone else who. And if you're not comfortable with somebody in the chain, there are between Military One Source and our other professionals on the base, you don't even have to come to us.
Our national hotline, right? Suicide National Hotline. There are a ton of resources available. There is help available 24/7, 365, even 366 on a leap year.
Christmas, midnight,
Right?
like
Doesn't matter.
Yeah. And we understand that the last about 18 months in the country with a lot of things going on with COVID, with a lot of restrictions that we deal with here, with you going through life and being in the training pipeline and all these other things that could affect you, that's just the training part. It's not even counting what's going on in your life or with your life outside the military back at home. So we encourage you, if you see somebody that needs help, help them. If you see somebody that needs help and you don't know how to help them, please contact us. And if you yourself need help, anyone in this chain that stands by willing to help you, no questions asked, no red tape, just how do we get you okay? So Senior, got anything else you want to add about Suicide Prevention Month?
No, sir. I think that hits on it. I mean, it is definitely one of those things that throughout your time, throughout your career, right? As civilians, we don't talk about suicide very frequently unless it does impact you in a way. The military is very small in numbers compared to our society. We're very small in numbers, and we need every single one of you. We're limited by Congress on who we can have and how it works. A lot of people can't get in the service. We need each and every service member to contribute to what we do, and we're counting on you. Those numbers are counted on, so we need you, right? What I'll say is the big services aren't going to be that's not going to be the ones that you're going to impact, right? In all honesty, you're not going to impact the Air Force, but you are going to impact your entire unit on levels that you have no idea. So please, right, if you are hurting, if something's going on, if you need help, reach out, right? It is absolutely a sign of strength to reach out and know your limits and know where you need to be. We all need assistance at some point. So reach out when you need it. And that can be, right, hey, right, whether it's a friend, a peer, a supervisor, an instructor, an MTL, anybody along the way, please just let us know. We're here to help. We're here for you. Ultimately, right, everybody jokes around with us, right? Oh, right, we work for this guy or whatever. We work for you. The military is built on servant leadership. The higher you go in the organization, the more people you work for, right? And so that's what we do. We're here to advocate for you. We're here to help you. We work for you to make things better so you can accomplish the missions that the nation needs.
We are not better off without you.
No.
Period. Okay. So that's what I want to say about Suicide Awareness and Prevention Month. The second thing I need to talk to you about is tomorrow. You can expect that there's going to be an order from the 17th Training Wing Commander, which is also in charge of Monterey, Corey Station, and Goodfellow, of course, and the debt at one small debt at Achuca is going to say everyone in this wing is going to be required to be vaccinated. All right. Everyone here will have an opportunity, if you have not chosen to be vaccinated up to now, to apply for medical waivers or religious waivers, and that'll all be processed here at the wing. So I want to say the timeline, and I expect to see this in order, is going to be no later than the 23rd of September. So it's basically going to give us about 13 days to process this. The chaplain is online and waiting for exemptions. The med group is online and waiting for exemptions. Everyone else, if you don't have an approved exemption, your place of duty is going to be the pod, the point of dispense on the 23rd.
So this shouldn't come as a surprise to anybody, right? I know, right? We've been open and honest about everything that we have, and we can't talk to the plan specific because it's not out. So once again, right, we're trying to level the communication with everybody in this organization and say, hey, this is what we know. So for the last 6 weeks-ish, we've been saying, hey, right, we've been encouraging people, go get the shot, go get the shot. After the DOD memorandum came out saying it is now mandatory in the DOD, we said, hey, hang on, right, we're going to work through a plan, we're going to work through our execution, and we will receive our orders as it continues. Last week, the Air Force had said, hey, here's your timelines, right? Because the DOD memorandum just said, hey, right, set an ambitious timeline to get this completed. Now the Air Force has said, you will have things done by this date. As things continue to progress, right, this shouldn't be a surprise. Everybody should already be kind of working through their plan of, right, how they're going to execute this. It is a readiness item. It is something we have to adjust to. So please, right, if you really feel you meet a medical exemption, or if you feel there is a religious consideration for a religious accommodation, for either of those, right, please, right, start looking to get, if it's a medical, get with your PCM, right, start setting that appointment to have that conversation if you have not already. If you need to talk to, right, the chaplains, realize that process is still getting lined out completely, but they are prepped and ready for this. That's the reason the order is looking to come out tomorrow. There's been a lot of legwork and a lot of discussion that's gone into this. We understand not everybody is going to be fully comfortable with it, but you've had a lot of time over the months since this has started, the discussion started saying this is going to become mandatory, to do some research to really kind of figure out where you fall in it. Please, right, consider what's going on. Look what it is. As with any other type of readiness requirement and item, if you do not have one of those exemptions or accommodations, then, right, there are disciplinary actions that are taken, and there are administrative actions that follow those decisions.
Yeah, I couldn't have put it any better. So since we're going to have some detailed discussion on this and be able to take questions tomorrow, I'll probably end the discussion on that note about the COVID-19 mandate. Everyone should expect to see the actual written order from the wing by tomorrow. There will be a group order that follows that, and then the 316 will have its own squadron order that will go out no later than Monday, provided that the wing commanders comes out tomorrow, which is what I'm expecting.
And then the groups. If we know for the fact the group is doing one, we will make sure ours is in line. But I would expect by Monday or Tuesday, the squadron will have something in writing and in place.
And I know the MTLs will push that out in Discord, and everyone will have their own access and can go find their provider or their religious the chaplain and go from there, or take the vaccine.
Correct.
So that's enough on that. It was good seeing a lot of you guys out in Cristobal at the lake. Good time. Thank you for the invite. I hope the food out there was good. I know we had a couple of accident mishaps, so I just advise you guys to be careful out there. I like to work hard and play hard. So thank you for not having any phone calls again about any craziness out there that I had to worry about.
Correct. Right. And once again, right, as the commander said, right, be safe in those decisions, right? And that's every weekend, not just the long ones. Right? We understand accidents occur, things happen. But if you are actually really going through and thinking about things ahead of time, hopefully, right, we can stop some of the smaller accidents before they occur, and right, keep everybody safe and continuing doing what they're supposed to do.
I'm glad you had a good time. So I think we're good right now. So we'll stand by for a few minutes for questions. And besides that, if you've got more questions tomorrow when I see you in person, we can also take them there. I'm not getting to play football tomorrow. I'll go find out who's playing football and jump in there after we get done with our mandatory pain.
Not mandatory pain, sir.
Mandatory. I'd like some mandatory pain, but we would have Sergeant Abad leading it if we needed mandatory pain, wouldn't we?
If Sergeant Abad is online, that's not a call out for those that are there.
She already gave me a workout.
Don't get her started.
It's not a challenge, but it is to bring everybody together and get an opportunity to get out and work out and right, build that esprit de corps. Right, we are in the military. This is one of our requirements. We used to get out and do the flight squadron PTs much more frequently than we do now, especially with COVID. We've really been limited. So I'm looking forward to getting out in a little larger group and getting back to a version of normal for the military.
Agreed.
It's awful quiet over there, unless our chat function is frozen. But
I think Sergeant Miller's is great because he's briefed them on
so
what they can't.
yeah. So once again, right, I'll cover the same thing that Chief always wants covered during these things during the end, right? While we're waiting. Once again, right, if you do not look like those around you and you don't have what all your other friends have in class, if you don't have your amendments, orders, assignments, all of the fun, 30 days out, it needs to be something that you are really pushing to the MTL, saying, hey, I don't have an assignment. If you don't have orders 2 weeks out, you need to be back in the MTL's office saying, hey, I need a hand, right? Something is broken. If you're a week out, you need to be in there pretty much every day saying, hey, what's going on, right? Checking on things. And then they will elevate that to Chief and I to continue to press and make sure it happens. At the same time, making sure you're doing everything you need to do to get through that process. So once you get your assignment, to get your orders, depending on where you're going, your requirements are different. So make sure you're doing that. If you decide you're going to get married, make sure that, right, you are taking care of that. If it's a mill-to-mill, make sure you're taking care of your joint spouse requirements. If you wait till the last week, well, we'll do everything we can, but we also can't make promises that we can't hold. So we'll do the best we can with what we have. So I understand how it goes, but right, it gets very difficult the longer you wait in your course to do certain things. So please, right, be proactive in what you're doing. We will continue to be proactive in continuing to help you as far out as we can to get things done. And other than that, for your comments, once again, for tomorrow, right, please be thinking about questions for our stuff, right, for our different options, whether it be the commander's calls, the development options and opportunities with the instructors or the chief and I, and make sure that, right, as y'all are thinking about those questions, that, right, it's something that is going to broaden and is something that the airmen on a larger scale need to know. So if it's something you guys are talking about and y'all need clarification, understanding, those are the things that we want to hit on. That is not going to be the time, once again, to kind of go over your orders issue or, right, those individual issues. That's not what the time is going to be allocated for tomorrow. Those questions, we'll say, get with your MTLs and they'll take down the name. But we're not going to answer those questions tomorrow. It's truly development time. So think about that, right? How can we help you all become better airmen and become the next leaders to take our spots here in a few years?
Sweet.
But that's
Good. Yeah.
I didn't see anything else come in for any of that, so I think it's awesome. And I did see some chat functions, but no questions. So,
Nice. Where I'm at the airfield tomorrow. PT for me, right?
I believe so, sir.
Okay. So those of you who are going to the airfield, I'll
Good flight line?
Yeah, flight line. I will see you.
I was like, at the airfield, where are you going?
You know what I mean.
Well, I want to make sure.
On a normal Air Force base.
On a
right?
normal Air Force base, we would have to get large permission to actually go into the airfield to go do runs.
Without the cops tackling.
Without the cops tackling
Because they
you.
will.
Because that is something they get to enjoy to do. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I'll see you at the flight line tomorrow morning.
and I'll be out at ASU. We look forward to it. Look forward to the conversations tomorrow. Thanks, and everybody knows Chiefs Lions, so don't jack it up.